Hello.
Okay.
Let's go have a sip of my drink.
I'll have a sip of your drink in a minute.
Hello. Well, I want to sip it first. Welcome everybody to another episode of Ben and John Do Cars Talk Cars podcast.
Yes.
Episode 17, I think.
I think so too. We're rattling through them.
We are. We're really getting them done. I was looking on our YouTube the other day and looking at all the videos we've done, and it's just podcast after podcast after podcast.
It's an absolute podcast fest.
It's an absolute podcast
We
fest.
do need to make another actual video soon,
Yeah, we do.
but that's a discussion for another day off camera.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, yeah.
Whoa! I'm still struggling with this cough thing a little bit still. So
That's not good.
I've still got a bit of clag going on.
Is it a bit of a clag test?
Oh shit! Yeah, it is. Not quite as bad as last time, but it's still there. It's still making itself known.
Anyway,
Anyway,
what's on the agenda?
well, I thought there's a few things I want to talk about. We do have a submission to Rate or Slate.
Yeah.
Yes, Liam sent in details, so we'll talk about that in a second. Very excited about that. Also, I do have something for Rantally this week.
Nice.
And I've also got something that I'd like to talk about, which it's sort of related to Rantally. I'm thinking this. The sun is out.
Yeah. Summertime.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Sun's out, and so convertibles have been on my mind.
Ah.
So I want to talk about convertible. I think maybe we can have a convertible.
All right.
podcast.
Which ones are cool?
Yeah.
Which ones aren't?
Exactly. So we'll do that. But first of all, we must say
Big thanks to the Streets Taverna.
we are supported by the Street Taverna.
I always say that.
The Street Taverna. Go check them out on Instagram. They're again for people who this is maybe their first episode. They are a Greek style street food company. Usually based outside of out of Harbourside in Bristol. They do all the markets and stuff in Bristol. Harbourside's their normal haunt. They're actually in Melksham this weekend, so they do get about a little bit. Delicious food. Support them by supporting the podcast, or vice versa. Support the podcast by supporting them. Go check out where they're going to be. Go see them. Get yourself some nice souvlaki and say, let's do it when you order. And you'll get a free halloumi and fry upgrade.
Love that.
And it's delicious.
And it's free.
Yeah, the food,
upgrade
the
is.
upgrade is free, yes. Yeah.
The upgrade is probably alone worth a $5.
Yeah. And and it is delicious food, and it's a very summery food.
Yeah, outside eating.
You're outside. You wander around Bristol, having a nice time, popping into shops.
Yeah.
Get yourself some nice lunch. Go down to Harbourside, have a little paddle along the little waterfall steps. I don't technically think you're allowed to, but everyone does anyway.
A Greek gyros.
Exactly.
Oh, yummy.
Some nice yogurt in there and all that kind of shit.
Oh, fuck, let's go to Greece, man. Actually, we don't need to. Let's go to Bristol and go to the Street
Go to
Taverna.
the Street Taverna, exactly.
There we go.
Yes. So, Rate or Slate first?
Yeah.
Cool, right.
We haven't done it for a while.
We haven't done it for a while, partly because we've forgotten, partly because we didn't get any submissions. But we've had a submission. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Liam's two cars.
Yeah.
Liam Ross, we both know Liam. Liam, how are you? Great to hear that you listen to the podcast. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Liam. I haven't spoken to you probably in about 10 years.
Yeah,
So
hope life is well.
Yeah, hope you're good, man.
So, we've got two cars.
Whoa.
So, I'm going to read out Liam's message, because I feel like that's a nice format.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, can't get enough of the podcast. Glad you guys are back with regular content.
Cheers, dude.
Appreciate that, Liam. Figured I'd toss my hat in the ring and submit my cars. Always welcome. Anyone's welcome. So, there's the 180. We're talking MG ZS80. Liam and I both come from an MG-ish background. So there's the 180. Sits a little lower than standard. Has a sports cat. That's an expensive upgrade on a ZS180. And quite a, you do release quite a bit of power with a sports cat on those. That's me talking, not Liam. Has a sports cat and some random silencer. Have not yet got round to taming the wheel colour. Nice turn of phrase. Then there's my little shitbox diesel Ibiza. Perfect runaround. 55 mpg all day long. Full dealership service history. Typical ASBO TDI remap. Looking forward to the upcoming content.
Lovely.
Love that, Liam. Right, let's start with the ZS180 because that's my speed.
That's all over you, yeah.
So it is. We'll have pictures on the screen, obviously. But for audio listeners, we are looking at a pre-facelift. So Mark 1, MG ZS. It's a saloon, so the longer boot with the extreme spoiler.
Yeah.
ZS180. So you've got the 2.5 litre KV6. I had one of those. You've driven it quite a few times.
Loved that car.
This is an exceptionally underrated car.
Oh my god,
it's fantastic.
It's so good.
In period, it was referred to as the poor man's Integra Type R. And I mean, that's high praise.
That is high praise.
It's high praise. There's a lot of obviously underneath it shares a lot of components of the MB6 Civic, but a lot of the Civic guys take parts off the ZS to upgrade the Civic, like suspension components and stuff, because it is genuinely a well-sorted sports saloon. Not particularly fast,
180 horsepower.
180, with Liam's sports cat and silencer and stuff, you might be
probably
pushing...
181.
Yeah. Maybe it might be pushing 190, something like that, but it's in... Fuck, I can't remember what this colour is. The green. Le Mans green, I think this is called. Sorry, I'm showing you already, but... Pretty sure that's Le Mans green.
Okay.
It's got the classic...
ZR splitter?
No, I think that's a Laguna splitter.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Splitter, yeah.
What an upgrade it was. De-oranged the indicators, that's nice. Or maybe swapped them for a Rover 45 headlights.
Great move.
And we've got the wheels, the 11 spokes off the facelift ZS180, which
I really like that.
I really like them as well. They're great looking wheels. Great looking wheels.
Yeah.
Slightly wider than the standard wheels on the 180, half an inch wider, and offset slightly more aggressive. So great looking wheel.
Perfect.
To be fair, Liam, actually, I don't mind the black 11 spokes on that green ZS. I think that looks quite nice. Oh, wind deflectors as well.
Yeah, you say you haven't got around to taming the wheel colour. I don't think you need to. I think that suits it really well. Unless you're going to go silver, then
I bought do you remember my ZR Turbo that I had? That was Le Mans green.
Yeah.
And that came with black straights, and I didn't really like those either.
Yes.
So I ended up spraying those white.
Yeah, that looked really good.
That looked good. So maybe white, Liam. Maybe that's an option.
Yeah, white on that colour green does look really well.
Let us know what colour you're thinking of changing them to, Liam. I think a dark grey would look good. A nice bright silver would look good. A white would look good. A gold would look good. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I know what you mean about the wheel colour and wanting to change it. I don't think it looks bad, but it looks very like a lot of people have that kind of combination now. Black wheels are kind of everywhere. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be standing out of the crowd, something that doesn't blend in. Pink. Orange.
Yeah, fluorescent orange. Maybe, when you buy those multi-packs of highlighters?
Yeah.
Where you've got like the yellow, the green, the orange, and like the blue?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you should do, Liam. One highlighter colour for every wheel.
Wow.
Don't do that.
I don't think you can go wrong with just like a nice silver.
Nice silver, yeah. It's such a good looking wheel.
Or like a grey silver, like a gunmetal silver. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, cool.
And also, we've only got a couple of brief photos, but from what I've seen, it looks in very good condition, because a lot of these ZSs, well, a lot of all these MGs now, they get into the age where they really are starting to be quite ropey, whereas that looks pretty tidy.
Look at the photo by the lake.
It's fucking hot in here.
Yeah, I know. Do you want to open the door?
This is going to be it'd be awful. This will be a short podcast.
It's pissing down out of rain, so yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it looks good. It's lowered, like you said. It looks pretty cool. Stanced.
I bet that is fucking... I know that is fucking great to drive.
I absolutely loved driving your one.
It was great, wasn't it? It was such a good car. So good. Just everything was so well balanced.
Yeah, and
the performance, to the handling, to the brakes, to the grip level, just everything was really, really well balanced.
Handling was awesome. The car felt light. It didn't feel like a heavy car, despite having a V6 engine in it. It wasn't front heavy, or it didn't feel like it was.
No,
it was basically on rails.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then the higher power you get from the V6, it's not massive, but it sounds great, and you get that real sense of yes.
Yeah, and it builds nicely. They're just great cars.
Yeah,
they're just great underrated cars. Liam, I'm rating that super high. I'm going to say that is a. I'm going to say that's a solid 9 let's do it out of 10 let's do it.
Wow. That's high.
What are you saying?
I was going to say like a 7.5.
7.5. All right, I'll go with an 8. So let's compromise on an 8 and say when you change the wheel colour, send it in again and we'll rate it again.
Yeah.
But for now, that is a solid 8 let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, just send it in every time you change something.
Yeah.
Just keep us. We don't have to be a rate or state submission. Just send us an update
Yeah.
of what you're doing to your car so that we can keep looking at it.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I was never a fan of the MG ZS back in the day, and then Ben got one, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Because I didn't really know what it was at the time. And I think you lent it to me for a weekend because I had to pick it up from a wedding or something.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I polished it, and I got bonded with
Yeah,
it.
you did a good job with that. Thank
And
you.
I drove it around for a while, and I just thought, this is amazing.
Yeah, so
Like-
it was.
It was so responsive, so fast, but not fast, if you know what I mean. It handled well. I loved it all.
When I had mine, I bought mine as a cheap runaround, and I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll buy it," because I think it had a broken gearbox.
Oh, God.
So I got it real cheap, and I was like, "Right, I'll stick a new gearbox in it, run it around for 6 months, sell it on, hopefully make a profit, and I'll have a nice summer run around." I think I ended up having it for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, this car is so good. And also, it was fucking bulletproof.
What was that?
The only thing that went wrong with that car the entire time I owned it was the clutch slave, other than obviously I bought it with a broken gearbox, but I'm not counting that. The clutch slave cylinder started failing.
Right.
Well, it failed. And so I had to get that replaced. But other than that, nothing went wrong with it. And I beat the shit out of that car for 3 years.
Yeah.
Did multiple track days in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was great on track as well. Really, really good on track. Just again, like the balance was perfect. You could provoke it into a bit of a
Oversteer.
lift-off oversteer if you wanted, or you can be nice and precise and fingertippy with it. God, it was fucking brilliant.
Great car. Yeah, highly
Great
rated.
car. Ibiza.
Diesel.
Diesel with a remap. I mean, nice set of wheels. I don't know what they are.
TSW or like rotor replicas or something.
Yeah, something like that. The wheels look nice. Yeah, nice colour. Nice colourway on that. Bit of dark grey, bit of green. Sorry, green. What am I talking about? Bit of dark grey, bit of black.
Yep.
3-door as well.
Yeah, don't mind it.
I quite like that shape, Ibiza.
Great little run around.
My sister had one. They were good cars.
I had a Skoda 190 TDI Fabia VRS, and I love that. And I imagine that's very similar.
Right underneath, it'll be the same car with the same engine.
Exactly. So I am rating that. Well, I'm not going to get into the rating just yet. Don't want to give it away.
Don't give away the farm.
You mentioned in your email that it does 60 miles to the gallon. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love all of that.
Yeah,
I'm a miles to the gallon fan.
People hate on diesels,
Why?
but they're still good. Like, you go back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was all about the diesels.
Yeah.
Everybody loved diesels.
Yeah, high miles to the gallon, great remapping potential, loads of torque.
Yeah.
Uh,
A lovely, and that's what you want. From a daily driver, what do you want? You want economy and torque.
yeah, and comfort.
And comfort.
And you're not going to get too far away from that. Because something like that, you're going to have bag loads of torque, especially as you've got it ASBO remapped. As
Yeah, I
you
love
described.
all that. Good work.
It's going to be comfortable because it's just like a general car. Mm-hmm. They're not.
It's just a general car.
It's just a general car. Thank you. For a lack of a better term, it's not like. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's going to be comfortable.
Yeah,
It's got nice.
I think we've established it's probably going to be quite comfortable.
So it's probably going to be quite comfortable. No, but yeah, I love diesels because I've had loads of them. They've all been reliable. I still drive a 1.9 TDI diesel now, and I get 60 miles.
Yours is a 2 litre, isn't it?
I don't know, is it?
I'm pretty sure yours is a 2 litre.
It's a 2 litre diesel now, and I get 60 miles out of that. 60 miles to gallon out of that. It's nothing special, and I love it.
Yeah, stop smashing.
Sorry, it's bulletproof, so yeah, can't go wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I mean, we went in hard with the ZS.
So we've got, yeah. Okay.
So we got to bring it down. We're going to bring it back down to earth a little
Bring
bit.
it back down.
There's nothing wrong with the Ibiza. I like it. I'm sure it's an incredibly good daily driver. But there's not much zing to it. So I'm going to go with for its purpose, daily driver. It's small. It's nippy. I hate that word. It's small. It performs well. It's economical. It's probably quite reliable. I'm gonna go with 6.5. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll match that.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking at it in terms of like practicalities, it's way higher than that. But we're not about practicalities only on this rate.
We should have started with the Ibiza, then gone on to the ZS because the ZS has just left me. Left me excited.
I'm just gonna have to edit it in post, Ben.
No, not do that. Yeah, so that's a pretty strong 2-car garage, Liam.
Yeah, I think we might be slightly overexposed, Ben.
Yeah, sort out in post.
Okay. can't sort over exposed routing post, unfortunately.
I mean, we're not making a Hollywood masterpiece.
No, but we don't want it to be fully shit, do we?
True, that is very true. A little bit shit's fine. But not fully. We're not amateurs.
Can't have it fully shit around here. Awesome, I mean...
Cool, so yeah.
Rate of Slate.
That's what I say, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we haven't done that for ages.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Liam. And you've got a nice 2-car garage. Good work.
Nice one, Liam.
Right. Sorry. So, next on the agenda.
Yeah.
What have you got anything that you want to talk about?
We gave the Aston Martin back the other day.
Oh yes, we did give the Aston Martin back the other day. Actually, that was a lovely evening.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we when was that? Wednesday evening.
Cruised on over.
Went over to Stroud.
50 minutes away, something
It was
like that.
a lovely, gorgeous, hot evening.
Yeah.
The Aston. You were following me.
Loved it.
And I kept saying to myself in the car, probably every 5-10 minutes, I'd look up and I'd see you just cruising along in that Aston. We were heading into the sun as well, so the sun was bouncing off the front of the Aston. They had a nice Aston grille. I just kept having to say to myself, fuck, man, that is such a cool car. It's such a good-looking car. Yeah. Like, the presence on the road is perfect. It's the perfect size. It's the perfect stance.
Yeah, it's lovely. And we saw another Aston Martin on the way, and it was like, hey, yo.
Yeah.
Like,
Aston friends.
I was like, yeah, Aston friends. It's not mine, though. And I was thinking, I wonder if that's his. I thought, most likely.
Yeah, you don't know.
Don't know, though. But yeah, I loved it. Really good experience having that. Thanks, Sammy Pete, again for giving us that.
We do need to make a video about that at some point, but we need to synergise with Sammy P next time he's in the area and blah, blah, blah.
We keep getting in the car and not making videos so that we have to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a sad moment, but also really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And also, that fucking bus nearly fucking
Yeah.
got me onto the dual carriageway. I had to drop it down a cog and boot it in front of a coach because it didn't move over. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was, and that looked quite close.
I don't think it was as close as it looked, but it felt close. But it also sounded awesome because the exhaust was resonating off the side of the coach. And it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I could hear it, and I was probably 100 yards in front of you.
Yeah, awesome.
It was great.
So yeah, that's all I got to say, really.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that the Aston went back, but
I mean, Charlie is really stoked that it's gone back because now she doesn't have to reverse onto the drive. She's still like, I'm going to scratch the Aston Martin. I'm like, you know what, you can do this.
Yeah. Excuse me. Right. Well, let's get into the meat of it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about convertibles, right? Mm-hmm. I want to sort of generally bounce around convertibles a little bit, but specifically, I've just been to Parma.
Oh, yes.
Spent the weekend in Parma.
Yes. Hence the tan.
Thank you. We had to rent a car there. And so I went out with Sam and Emma, and we met Pedley out there, but he lives out there, so it's fine. So we were like, right, let's get a car. I was only going out for 3 days. They went out for the whole week. So we flew out together. I flew back after 3 days, and they stayed out there.
Yeah.
So it was like, right, let's just have a car so that we've got a means of getting it back. So we wanted to do a few things over the island and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So Sam's like, right, fuck it. I'm just gonna book the smallest car. It doesn't really matter what it is. And it's just like, great, we're gonna get a fucking shitbox Fiat 500. Whatever, that's fine. I don't mind. It is what it is. I wasn't even driving, and there wasn't really much point in me putting on the insurance because I was only out there for a few days. So I spent the weekend as a passenger, which I don't normally do. Anyway, we get into Parma Airport quite late, sort of midnight on Friday night. Go to the car rental place, get the keys, all this kind of shit. Get into the car park. It's a little Fiat 500 sat there. Great, it's a Fiat 500. Knew it would be. That's fine. But Kellett goes,
Got the convertible.
do you notice anything about it? And immediately I clocked at the black fabric roof, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
He sprung for the convertible.
The cabriolet.
The cabriolet. So we had a Fiat 500 Dolce Vita convertible with the electric. I say convertible.
It's like half.
It's sort of it's a very big sort of
massive open roof.
Yeah,
doesn't quite go flat at the back, does it?
No, and you've still got the sides of the roof and stuff. So it's like, I don't know if it's properly a convertible. 500C anyway. I'm going to call it a convertible. And I liked that car.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking that, you know, a good car has many definitions, right? Because let me tell you, from most objective points of view, That was a terrible car. It was awful. It was so bad. Like Fiat 500s, I don't like anyway. That's on the list of cars for me where if I meet someone and it comes up in conversation, oh, what do you drive? Oh, I've got a Fiat 500. Immediately, I'm suspicious. I'm like, okay, you're not my people, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't like the Fiat 500 as a general. I just don't like that whole kind of cutesy sort of. I don't mind retro cars, but that whole sort of bubbly, cute kind of. I don't know. I can't get on with it. I don't like Fiat 500s. Anyway. And it's awful. The interior is disgusting. All of the buttons are horrible. It was probably the slowest car I've been in for years. It was really slow. I don't even know what engine it had. I don't know. It was definitely not more than 3 cylinders. I think it was a 3-pot. Might have been that funky twin air 2-cylinder version they do. I don't know. But it sounded like a 3. But it was horrifically slow. You know, it got to the point where I'd I said to Sam a few times, I was like, are you
accelerating?
I was like, are you flat? He's like, yeah, I'm flat. Like, Jesus. And I'm not talking like flat in 5th or 6th. I'm talking like he's trying to get away from the set of lights and he's in 2nd. I'm like, is this all it's got? Yeah, that's what it's got.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Very slow. Interior horrible. The worst infotainment system of any car I've used for the last 5-6 years.
Oh, really?
It was awful. The Apple CarPlay integration was just mental. It was so bad.
You're really not shining this well.
No, it was awful. But
Shining this well?
I know what you meant.
Thanks.
But like I say, a car doesn't need to be objectively good to serve a purpose and serve it well.
Yeah, I like that.
And let me tell you, I genuinely think that was the perfect car for the trip.
Yeah?
Because it was very hot in Parma.
As always.
There were, most of the time, there was either 3 or 4 of us in the car.
And it's not a big car.
It's not a big car, but it's big enough for, fairly short trips for 4 people.
Is it a 4-seater?
It's a 4-seater, yeah. Well, it might have even been a 5 technically, but no chance. And, I spent time in the front, I spent time in the back. It was all good. But, just getting that roof down and just cruising along around Mallorca in this Fiat 500 with, the sun out, beaming down, nice sort of breeze going over because the roof's down. You're with mates, having a great time. The vibe is strong. Yeah. You got some good tunes on. You're going somewhere exciting in the car. You're going exploring. There's a bit of a sense of adventure about it, and it was just the perfect car because it was a running joke throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like, the fucking Fiat 500.
Yeah.
But you get the roof down and it's just such a vibe. And like even to the point where, we'd be going through town and I'd look over at like reflections in the windows of places.
Yeah.
And it would just be funny. It'd be like, we look ridiculous. We look like we're obviously tourists.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I can't think of a car, especially if you're into cars form quite integral parts of memories, both happy and sad. But like, if it's a happy memory, that Fiat 500 is locked in for me in my head for that trip to Mallorca, which was an incredible trip. And it looked ridiculous. You felt ridiculous, but you don't care. You're just like,
you're
fuck
having
it.
a great time.
Yeah, you're having a great time. You're with mates. The sun's out.
And is that kind of part of what Fiat 500 is all about? It's like they're a sense of fun. They kind of look a bit ridiculous. They're not particularly good cars, but people seem to love them. And is that because they get a sense of fun from them, do you think? Or do you think it was just simply because you're with mates, you had a convertible and the sun was out?
Well, I have tried to put some thought into this, actually. I know these probably sounds like the ramblings of a madman, but I've tried to mould my thoughts into something coherent. Because I thought, well, it was a convertible, and obviously having a convertible on a nice sunny island is lovely.
It's ideal.
But I'm like, what if it was a different convertible? I tried flicking through different cars in my head just to try and figure out, how would that affect the vibe? And like, if it was something bigger, like a 3 Series convertible or like an A4 convertible, like a 4-seater convertible, that wouldn't be the same. I mean, I hate conventional sort of large 4-seater convertibles. They just don't look right to me, and I don't know, just not. The side profile just doesn't work for me on a 4-seater, especially if you've got 4 people in it. Whereas the side profile of the Fiat is basically the same as a standard hardtop, so it doesn't really look that offensive. And Obviously, a 2-seater convertible we couldn't do because we needed 4 seats. So I'm like, what if it was something like a Mustang or something like that? And I'm like, one of the good things about the Fiat is that it was so fucking small as well. Like I didn't realize just how small they are. They're tiny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they are tiny. Every time I see them on the road, I think I'd love to get one, an Abarth that is.
Yeah,
but I can't quite get past the fact they're so small, and I'm quite a big guy. Well, tall at least. And they're very narrow, and I think
they're extremely narrow.
Would I get my golf clubs in the boot? And that's probably a no.
You definitely wouldn't have got the golf clubs in the boot of this one.
No,
not a chance.
Would have been the same size, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, no, because the boot's kind of funky because you've got the roof and stuff.
Yeah,
but you definitely wouldn't fit your golf clubs in this one.
So yeah, they are small, definitely.
Yeah, I really want. I obviously underneath they're the same as the Panda, and I've said before how much I love the Panda 100 horsepower.
Yeah,
I really want to have a go on one of those. I just think that'd be amazing. So yeah, it was really that fucking Fiat left quite left.
Do you reckon it's changed you?
No, I still hate Fiat 500s. And I will still slag them off. And again, objectively, in every sense, it was a terrible car. The interior was awful.
Yeah.
All of the ergonomics were horrible. You mentioned about being a tall guy. I spent about the first 10 minutes, I reckon, I was in that car. We were driving away from the airport. I was in the passenger seat. I was trying to figure out how to get the seat lower.
Did you manage?
No, because it's not adjustable.
Because it's conventionally, the seats in those things are fucking high.
Yeah, so I literally feel like I was up like a fucking meerkat.
Yeah, that's like one of the major reasons why they're not major reasons, but one of the big points about people that own them are like the fucking seating position is too high.
It's so high. It feels like you're driving a van.
Yeah,
a weird little
van. You feel
van.
like you're on top of the car as opposed to in it.
So again, objectively terrible, but in the right place with the right people, in the right situation, it was absolutely glorious. So I'm incredibly thankful that Sam sprung for the extra £8 to upgrade from a normal Fiat 500 to that one. Because if that had been a normal Fiat 500, it would have had the opposite effect. It would have been a constant annoyance, like the fucking Fiat, because it was so hot out there that like you got back to the car every time and it was an oven. But guess what?
Crank the roof open.
You remove the roof and suddenly it cools down pretty quick. Whereas if we were in a tin top Fiat 500,
windows wouldn't have
having to one or two people having to cram themselves into the back.
Yeah, the back doesn't have open windows.
No, exactly. So it would have been a fucking nightmare. But yeah, it was brilliant. So yeah, right car, right setting. Even a bad car can be brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I totally get that. I've owned some bad cars over the years, and I've loved them.
Yeah, same.
And I think it's solely subjective in terms of what you want from the car, primarily, if you're not on holiday, that is. Whereas to be fair, primarily in your instance as well, you wanted it to get you about from A to B, which worked perfectly fine. Convertible, let the heat out, perfect. Small, yes, but it's not like you're lugging loads of luggage around.
No, true.
Had the fun factor, like you said, every time you looked in a reflection, you thought, that's hilarious.
I thought we looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
We look like fucking idiots.
That can either go one of two ways usually. You're either driving around going, I look like a complete fucking moron, or you're driving around going, I'm embracing this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, don't take this in the wrong way, but when you had that Mazda, the Meme X5, when you first got that, and I thought, I'm not going to be seen dead in that fucking shitbox with the fucking Rising Sun Japanese thing on the bonnet,
done on Dulux.
And then the freaking tiny spoiler on the back. But when you're driving it, when you're in it, you're just like, I'm embracing the fun factor. Then it gives you a sense of like, this is awesome. Yeah. You're like, I don't know why.
I swear, I genuinely reckon if you're that type of person with the right state of mind, if you're a well-balanced person, I think, if you're not too hung up on what people think of you, I think genuinely, if you were to, certainly I think in my case, if you were to take my, if you were to send me out in, say, the Lexus drift car, which is not a very nice car to drive, and I feel like a bit of a dick in it because it's loud and it's, I don't know.
Pretty obnoxious.
But also, it does sound good and it goads you to driving fast.
It does sound good.
If you were to compare physiologically, my sort of blood pressure and my heart rate and my cortisone levels, all that kind of stuff.
I'm into it.
And then compare it to driving, say, the Meme X5 or a Fiat 500 convertible in Mallorca or whatever it might be. Yeah. I genuinely think it's probably better for your health.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Dude, that's such a an amazing point you just brought up. Like, biologically speaking,
it's good for you to drive a fun shitbox.
Yeah.
That where you don't care what people think of you, or you embrace the joke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, embracing the fun factor of it.
That's why I love driving. That's one of the reasons why I love driving my Mini.
Yeah,
It's exactly the same thing.
but the Mini isn't like an embarrassing car. The Mini's cool. It's a
No,
classic
okay,
Mini.
that's fair enough.
But like with your Meme X5, it was totally a sense of that.
Yeah.
It's, you either have to embrace it and then it becomes awesome,
Yeah.
or you carry away from the experience and you become a stress ball because you're just like, I look like an idiot.
Yes, yeah.
And everybody knows it.
Everyone thinks I'm an idiot. Oh.
So I just think you just got to embrace things like that. And when you're on holiday with your mates having a vibe, it's like, yeah, we've got a Fiat 500, and what?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What else would we have?
Yeah, duh. Thanks for spending that $8. Because now we look fucking right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Interesting point there you make about like if you embraced it and it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's weird.
You know, if you're in a 911 GT3 RS is a wrong example, but you know, like
that can increase your stress levels.
that's what I mean. Like, but you know, something like an M3 or like an Audi RS product or something like that, something that's aggressive and sort of like a bit peacocky.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be just take yourself down a peg or two and go for a drive in a Fiat 500 convertible. Or a Nissan Micra convertible.
Love that.
Or, do you know what I mean? Some shitbox like that.
And arguably speaking, driving an M3, yes, it's going to be way much more of a fun driving experience.
It's brilliant.
Like,
we're not slagging off M3s, by the way.
Oh, God, no, we love them.
Love M3s.
but your Corso levels are going to be higher.
Yeah.
Because you're driving a bit of a beastly car.
Yeah.
You're constantly thinking about...
Your testosterone's up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you from an evolutionary term, you're like, right, I'm ready to fucking fight you,
Yeah,
whoever you are.
Who wants to fucking mess with me?
Yeah.
Nissan Micra?
Fuck
I'll
off.
do ya.
Yeah, yeah.
Audi RS3? I'm going to have a fucking go.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Fiat 500, however, driving a Fiat 500C round, you're just going, hello, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like Mr. Bean hanging out the sunroof when he goes to Paris and he's like swearing at everyone else because he thinks that's like a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's just having the best time. Oh, yeah. So driving cars that aren't particularly good cars and embracing the fun factor of them
Exactly.
can make you a...
Volvo 850 on the NC500.
Yeah, dude.
That thing was a piece. It looked like it wasn't a piece of shit, but it looked like a piece of shit,
And we loved it.
and we loved it. And every panel was a different shade of faded red. There was lacquer peel all over the shop.
Leaking oil.
It was just, you know, it did
No ABS.
It did not look good, but we loved that thing, and we loved that trip.
Absolutely loved that car.
And again, you embraced it. You know, your 5 cylinders of fury.
Yeah.
You ragged the fuck out of it, even though it didn't get you anywhere any faster.
0 to 40 in like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
but it sounded amazing.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
chucked it about, even though it was on shitty old skinny tyres and stuff, and it was just a fucking vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Great point you raised there, Ben.
Yeah.
Love that. So, all in all, good experience, huh?
Loved it.
Cool.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no point talking about the holiday. We've talked about it privately before, but
Yeah.
there wasn't really any car stuff to talk about.
So let's move on to convertibles. That in the general space in which, I mean, we've kind of covered the point of like, are they cool cars? But I think if you embrace them, they're all cool.
Yeah.
But like from a driving kind of interest kind of point of view, what convertibles would you buy? What would you own? What would you not? You know,
This is gonna. My rant alley this week is also about convertibles. So
Christ, we're on a convertible. This is convertible thing.
This is the convertible episode.
Yeah.
So I'll try not to talk about
the rant alley.
the rant alley stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll go right. So basically, I reckon once a year it gets to the first sort of good weekend we have, which is normally sort of April, second half of April. I'm immediately like, oh, I fancy a convertible. Like, I've owned a few convertibles in my time.
Yeah.
Loved them all for different reasons. But I am one of these people where I do really enjoy a convertible. I really enjoy a convertible. I like a sunroof. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just like being outside. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? You know, but I'm a bit of a closet sort of motorcyclist. I don't have a bike license, but I feel like I would like to get one at some point. And I feel like it's that sort of same, like you're outside.
Yeah.
You know, everything, you know, it's nicer eating dinner outside than inside. It's nicer.
When the weather's good, it's nicer to be outside than inside.
It's nice to be outside than inside. Most things, assuming the weather is nice, the conditions are appropriate, pretty much everything is nicer outside.
Yeah.
You know, playing a kickabout with your mates, it's nicer doing it in the park than in the gym.
Absolutely.
You know, like I say, having a nice evening meal, it's nicer in the evening where it's nice and cool and you can hear the birds chirping and there's a bit of a breeze. It's nicer doing that outside than it is around your dinner table. It's nicer. There's some other stuff that's also nicer outside. So, I mean, but everything generally is nicer outside than it is inside.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's the same with driving, you know, and it's nice having a convertible.
I don't drive my car inside, Ben.
It's a fair point. But yeah, I've had a few convertibles and they're all good. I had obviously the MG X5, which was great.
Awesome.
The TF I had a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
that was a great car.
Yeah,
like I mean, it was a shit car, but it was. I loved it.
Yeah,
it was fun to drive. It was fast enough. It was handled well. It sounded good and
mid-engine.
It's convertible. Yeah, mid-engine handled really well. The TVR obviously was a convertible.
Oh,
I love that.
Fuck yeah, no.
You know, and every time I've had a convertible, I've had the roof down at every opportunity. I really don't understand it when you see people driving around with convertibles, especially in weather like we've had the last few days, and the roof's up. I'm just like,
are you mad?
You've got a heavy black fabric roof over your head. Like, surely it's not pleasant in there.
Yeah.
Like, what? And also, you went to the trouble of buying, spending more money normally on a convertible version of a car.
Why aren't you using it?
Why have you got the roof up?
Maybe it's got a fault.
Yeah, but a lot of the time they're like newer cars, and I'm like, there's no way that
Are you leaning into Round Tally here a little bit?
A little bit. So let's bring it back.
Park that.
Let's bring it back. So yeah, I really like convertibles, and whenever we get to a summer or a nice spell of weather where I don't have one, I feel like I'm missing out somewhat.
I've never owned one. I've driven a few. We had that Caterham.
Oh yeah, perfect. Caterham.
That was a fucking vibe.
Yeah.
Like that.
Horrible with the roof up though.
With the roof up, it's the most awful car in the world. Even like, yeah, it shouldn't have a roof, should it?
No.
That car. But that wasn't a comfortable car. Like, had carbon fibre seats with like padding as thin as my skin on it.
Yeah, there wasn't really any padding on it, was there?
But they were comfortable seats, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Very ergonomic.
Some convertibles you go in, like, you don't get particularly like windswept by them. Like, the wind, it's designed so, you know what I mean? Caterham is not that.
No.
It's like a fucking, storm in your face.
Like when with the doors off as well.
Fucking
I
hell.
genuinely
that was unpleasant.
That was unpleasant. I if you were doing like a track day in one of those with the door, you'd obviously have the doors off. Yeah, I mean, helmets on wouldn't be that bad, to be fair. But you'd have to do something about the harnesses. Fucking hell, they were going everywhere.
Yeah, but that was a vibe.
It was great.
I mean, the car was a fucking vibe.
Yeah.
So whether it's got a roof on or not, it's still going to be a vibe. But with the roof off, it was even more of a vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I haven't really driven any convertibles other than that. Driven my dad's Spitfire, classic Spitfire.
Beautiful.
Convertible.
Yeah.
Never have the roof up in that. It's pointless.
Nah, why would, exactly.
Never, ever, ever. And that is awesome. Like you said, being outside.
Now, one thing I would say is that I'm not suggesting that every car would be better as a convertible.
Okay.
I'm not saying that at all, because most cars where there is a hard top and a convertible version, I prefer the hard top version.
Yeah,
I'd never have a soft top M3.
God no.
I wouldn't have, we're talking sort of Ferraris and stuff. I'd definitely have a 355 GTB hard top over a GTS, the Spider. 911s, again, I'd never have a convertible 911. I'd only ever have a hard top.
Yeah.
Boxster and Cayman is maybe the only real exception to that. I think I genuinely would maybe choose a Boxster over a Cayman. Well, I don't know.
Don't know.
Depends what it would be for. If I was buying it, that's me, sorry. If I was buying it sort of primarily to do track days and stuff, obviously you'd go for the Cayman. But if I'm buying it as a sort of weekend fuck about car that I might want to do some track days in, then I probably would go for the Boxster over the Cayman, I reckon. So yeah, I'm not saying all cars should be convertibles, not for a second. But the ones that are purposefully built as a convertible, like your MX-5s, like your TFs, like your Chimeras, like your Spitfires, all that kind of stuff. The Fiat 124, which is like the Fiat version of the MX-5 now. That's quite a cool little car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think they're fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I just think they're so cool.
A roadster without a roof is just perfect.
Yeah.
In the summer.
Amazing.
Can't beat it. But yeah.
All right, let's say we've not prepared this, but let's say you've got a healthy-ish budget. Let's say £5,000.
Right.
I say to you, right, Johnny, £5,000. You've got to go buy a convertible. We're going to go drive to. We're going to do the NC500, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But the weather's guaranteed to be brilliant, so we don't need to worry about that. We're going to buy a convertible each. What are you getting?
£5,000. I don't know what you can get for £5,000.
No, I don't know really either.
That's not what I haven't really looked.
I'm thinking a £5,000 convertible to do the NC500.
Probably a Z4.
I was thinking Z4.
Yeah.
I was thinking Z4. Maybe a slightly ropey Boxster, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd do that.
Or a Boxster Z4. Don't know if you get your hands on S2000 for £5,000.
I think they're more than that now.
Yeah.
I will double check it.
Potentially go for a classic.
£5,000. Oh, get you a nice MGB.
Yeah.
Really nice MGB for £5,000.
Stag, maybe an old, like a shit one. Get a Spitfire for £5,000.
You could probably get the best MGTF on the planet.
I'd even be considered to get a newer shaped MX-5.
Yeah.
They're pleasant cars, especially for a road trip, because that'll be bigger, have more boot space, probably be more mod conny, so you have, a bit more comfort, especially if you're doing a road trip.
The cheapest S2000 on eBay at the moment is 6.5.
I might even be tempted for like an old SLK or something like that.
Yeah.
Anything. It's like harps back to like it doesn't necessarily need to be a good car.
No.
If you're doing like a purpose built thing like a road trip and you know it's going to be good weather and you want a convertible, just put me in anything, to be honest, dude.
Yeah.
I'll give you £5,000. Just buy me anything. I'll have fun.
I definitely want a 2-seat. Again, I'm not a fan of 4-seater convertibles. As a
you
general
need a 4-seater if you're doing a road trip.
Yeah,
You'd all have your own car.
Yeah, I think I would go.
You could even truck in like a Westfield into the mix.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to go hardcore.
That's what I mean, though. So
that's why I'd be leaning against something a bit more modern, a bit more comfortable, a bit more practical.
Oh yeah, fuck me. Get me a Boxster.
How much can you get for $2-3 grand?
Mate, there's £5,000 Boxsters for days.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an S here. There's a Boxster S here for £5,000, but it isn't a Tiptronic. I wouldn't want that. Mate, yeah, £4 or £5,000, or you would have so many to choose from. The S is pushing it a little bit, but
probably we'd all go in Porsches, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
it'd just be a Boxster road trip.
I think Boxster and Z4 are top of my list.
Yeah, I think that's
because it'd probably be very good on the motorway as well. So you could cruise on at the motorway. Yes. Then once you get there, you can have a great time chucking it about.
Yeah, and it's got to be fucking comfortable.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And reliable and
practical,
fast enough
to a degree. Fast enough. It'd be fucking fast enough on those NC500 roads.
Yeah, it'd be wicked.
The 850 was fast enough.
Yeah, good point.
That'd be awesome.
Jaguar F-Type, another great example. Great looking car as a convertible or a hardtop. That's another Boxster Cayman situation for me, because I would happily have an F-Type convertible over a hardtop, but I love the hardtop as well.
Yeah,
it's a great looking car.
It's cool, I think.
Jaguar XKR, lovely.
I love the hardtop of them though.
Yeah, so do I. Again,
they look beautiful.
I'd have the hardtop, but I could forgive someone for having the convertible.
Yeah, absolutely. But they are beautiful, the hardtops. They're lovely. Vantage. I saw a Vantage convertible the other day.
Great shout. Yeah.
Lovely looking thing.
Yeah.
They actually do look really good because it's like an elegant car. Vantage.
Yeah.
The way they've designed the soft top makes it more elegant in a way, because it's like it's more derived towards the female market. I'm generalising.
Yeah. Almost
so you generally see like elegant females driving them with the roof down. That's a vibe, man. Whereas hardtops are a bit more. They're elegant still. Fucking don't get me wrong, beautiful, elegant cars, but they've got a bit more oomph to them.
They're a bit more masculine.
Bit more muscly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, even something like that. I wouldn't be like I wouldn't get one personally, but if I had the money and I was looking, I would probably consider one.
Do you know what? I've just thought, again, if it's a road trip car, if we're talking $5,000 convertibles, let me just double check before to make sure they're in. They're probably not going to be in budget, actually. I mean, a Mercedes SL is pretty hard to look over.
Yeah, I love them. You get an old one. Like a
$5,000 is pushing it a bit. You'd probably there's one here for 51950, 5195.
yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
Could probably do that. And to be fair, that's the best of both worlds because they've got a folding hardtop.
yeah.
So you could probably chip that down to below $5,000. Yeah, SL350, 500 would be nice, but
Can't afford that.
no, fuck it. So yeah, convertibles are a vibe.
Yeah. All right, I like that. Let's go round alley.
Should we pull over and get a secluded parking spot
Yeah.
down Rant Alley?
Rantally. What we gonna say? Rantally. Woo! Yeah.
Right.
We haven't been here for a while.
We haven't been here for a while. We've both been living our best lives.
Looking around. Not seeing anything going on that's really vexed us in any way.
No.
However, this week's different because Ben's come in. First thing he said to me was, "We're going around alley today."
Yeah, I've got something for Rant Alley.
Hit me.
And it fits in very nice with the convertible thing. People who buy convertibles, people who buy the wrong convertibles, first of all.
Yeah.
And then also people who buy convertibles who then don't use them as convertibles. So we sort of touched on this a minute ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's 30 degrees outside. You know, it's sunny. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And you drive around with your roof up. What the fuck's wrong with you? Why did you buy that car if it wasn't for... Like, okay, if you're in California or the south of France or Spain or Italy or somewhere that's hot a lot of the time, fair enough, you don't need to make the most of it. But if you're living in Britain,
Yeah.
I want to see, as soon as it's not raining, as soon as it's more than 10 degrees outside, get the fucking roof down.
Hell yeah.
You've got to take advantage of these things.
Absolutely, because it could be raining in like half an hour.
Exactly.
This is England.
It's going to be raining soon. And again, this goes back to, I feel very strong about this. Every time I've owned a convertible, if the weather has permitted it, the roof has been down. And that's the same with the Meme X5, it was the same with the TVR, same with the TF, same with all of them.
Yeah.
If it's not raining and it's not fucking freezing, even if it is fucking freezing, the cars have got heaters, they're efficient.
Yeah.
If it's not raining, the roof is down.
Yeah, fair enough.
So people really annoy me when they're driving around with the roof ups and roofs up. And I feel like there's a big overlap with these types of people.
Yeah.
Also, people who buy just awful convertibles. And I have two specifically in mind. There are others out there, but I got two specifically in mind.
Yeah. Keep talking, I'm going to let the dog out.
These are really what sort of triggered the Rant Alley this week, right? Is that I've been seeing, over the last 6 months or so, a surprising and worryingly large number of convertible SUVs. And the two that spring to mind are the Volkswagen T-Roc convertible and the Range Rover Evoque convertible.
God, fucking horrible. I didn't even know you get a T-Roc convertible. I haven't even seen a T-Roc convertible.
Oh, you're lucky.
Although one of the consultants at work drove a bright orange Range Rover convertible, and it was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Honestly, they are heinous.
Ugh.
They are absolutely disgusting.
And like, we don't like SUVs on this channel, so
No.
when you couple a convertible SUV into the mix, oh my god,
Jesus Christ.
oh my, what is that? What is that?
I mean, again, like I said, I'm not a big fan of four-seat convertibles anyway. I don't like sort of big Audi four-seater convertibles, A4s, even remember when 8 years ago you used to get sort of the convertible Ford Escorts and stuff? Like, they weren't very nice either. Like Audi A3s, that kind of stuff. Just, they're not nice looking cars, and they look awkward when they've got just people in the front, because then it's a bit weird. But they also look awkward when they've got people in the back as well. Cause it's like, it's really strange. And so I don't like four-seater convertibles, and I don't, as a general rule, like SUVs and crossovers. And
Is that a three-door?
Yeah.
That's like, what is that?
They're so hot. I find them almost personally offensive when I see people driving them. I'm just like, I take it as an affront. I'm just like, you've made my day worse by forcing me to look at your fucking piece of shit. They'll probably cost 50 grand. I mean, I don't know how much they are, but then I can't imagine they're cheap. And
it looks like those toys that you get for kids that they sit in that are electric.
yes, yeah, it does.
But they've just blown them up into life size.
Yeah. The dimensions aren't quite right.
The proportions are all fucked up. Like, why would you do that? Like, I'm looking at it now just going, I've never seen one before. I didn't know they existed, so thank you for bringing that to the table.
I'm sorry.
But also, fuck you. It's a heinous crime that I now have to think about this.
I see them quite a lot. I see them on the road quite a lot. And
Really?
And I extremely rarely see them with the roof down. Like,
They're
almost
horrible.
never. Almost
They're
never.
Absolutely horrible. Like, the Mark III Golf back in the day, Cabriolet, was a crime.
Yeah, that wasn't
against
pleasant.
humanity.
That was not
That
pleasant.
was an absolute disgusting car, and they've probably matched it with this. Because it kind of looked like, if you blur your eyes,
Yeah.
it kind of looks similar.
Yeah, it
Obviously, this
does.
is some fucking crazy SUV thing. The 3-door SUV, jacked up suspension, convertible. What is going on?
What is going on?
The world's gone mad.
What is going on? Like, I just, and again, I don't want to generalize. I don't want to generalize, but I'm going to.
Okay.
I feel like the sort of normal owner of that kind of vehicle, I'm putting the T-Roc and the Evoque in the same sort of category.
Yeah. Keep talking.
I would imagine the T-Roc's probably a little bit cheaper, but not a million miles away. They're similar size, they're the same kind of product, and I can't really think of many other convertible SUVs, if any. And obviously, I'm not counting things like Vitaras or old Land Rovers and shit like that. That's different.
Yeah. Okay.
This kind of stuff, I feel like they're very often driven by middle-aged women who think they're really cool. And it irritates me. Because you say, driving around the convertible. It's like, you look like a twat. I'm sorry. You look like an absolute fucking bellend. Like,
if we just kind of reflect a little bit back on what we were saying before about shit convertibles being fun, that's because you recognise that they're a shit convertible.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
People you're describing don't recognise it's a shit convertible. They think it's the coolest fucking thing.
Yes.
Since they got their hair dyed blonde in the 80s.
They think they're driving around in Magnum PI's Ferrari 308.
Exactly.
And you're fucking not. You're driving around in an awful, horrible, fucking jacked up, slow, awful handling, ugly fucking piece of shit that most of the time you don't even have the roof down on. What are you doing to yourself?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop buying these cars. Stop buying these cars.
If you keep buying these cars, the more they'll produce.
Yes, and we don't want that.
This will become the new thing. SUVs, right? There's the surge of SUVs that we've seen in the last, say, I don't know, let's just say 5 years.
Yeah, probably,
Insane.
5-10 years.
Insane, right? If they start becoming convertibles, all of them, people are going to buy them because people are fucking idiots.
I mean, how long until you get... I mean, the only convertible SUVs that I can think of are quite small ones, like the T-Roc, like the Evoque.
People love them though, don't they?
What happens when they make a convertible fucking Audi Q7 or something?
Or a convertible Range Rover Sport.
Yeah.
Like...
It might happen. It might happen.
God, could you imagine?
I just...
Like convertibles, you don't see roadsters, right, with jacked up suspension and massive wheels.
Yeah, well, I mean, in America, people do like doing that to MX-5s.
Yeah, but that's like a retro model,
Yeah,
isn't it? Whereas, like, if you try and cross too many markets into one, the lines of what it's trying to be blur hugely.
Yeah,
that's what's happening with this. So, like, people like you and I who have like a conception of cars and they've got their own little boxes like roadsters or SUVs or muscle cars, whatever. They're great when they're in their own line, and a little bit of a blur here and there is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
Streetwise.
a Streetwise or a really sporty estate, for instance.
Yeah, amazing.
You know what I mean? We're all about that.
Yeah.
But not a convertible SUV.
And again,
not a 3-door convertible SUV. That's That's merging too many markets.
Yeah,
Too many boxes, in my opinion.
Like I said, I don't like 4-seater convertibles in general. I don't like 3 Series A4s, that kind of size cars. I don't like them, but I don't. It's fine. It's just not my thing.
They're not wildly offensive.
No, they're not my jam. But if you want to go get yourself a 330 convertible or an M3 convertible, I mean M3 I'm a little bit more annoyed about, but because it's a performance car that you're kind of ruining the performance of. But whatever, it's fine. If you want an M3 convertible, I get it. It's a vibe. Whatever. It's just not my jam.
Yeah, likewise.
But that is unforgivable. That fucking T-Roc and the Evoque is just unforgivable. I just think...
What is it?
Like I said to you earlier, generally speaking, if someone says to me that they own a Fiat 500, they've got a bit of an uphill battle. I'm like, oh, I've just judged you. I don't want to, but it's just automatically, I've just judged you a little bit. If someone talks to me and says, oh yeah, what do you drive? Oh, I've got a T-Roc convertible. Sorry. I'm just going to turn around and walk out. I have no interest in speaking to you whatsoever.
If they start the sentence with, "Oh, mate, it's really embarrassing. I'm having to drive around in a convertible T-Roc,"
it's fine.
You'd be like, "That's cool, mate. That's fine."
Yeah.
How did you find it? Do you know what? I'm embracing the fact that I look like a moron. You'd go, why? Firstly, why have you got that car?
Yeah. What's the backstory?
What's the story? Because you haven't gone and purchased that yourself.
Yeah.
So it starts a dialogue. I mean, you can have a discussion with those sorts of people. Whereas if someone goes, I just bought the best car I've ever owned. Oh, it's so amazing.
It's so I call it grace.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, cool. What is it? Like a Boxster?
Yeah.
It's something cool for you can imagine a woman to drive. Oh no, it's a brand new T-Roc convertible.
We just thought, me and Trevor, we just thought the kids have gone off to uni now, so we don't need the big estate car or the big SUV anymore. We downsized a little bit and thought, we're 48 now. It's time to start treating ourselves. So we thought we'd get something for us. Yeah, we'd get something for us.
Wanted, something sporty.
Yeah. So we traded in the Qashqai, and we thought we'd treat ourselves to something convertible. But we lived. There are a lot of potholes around where we went. So we thought something like a little convertible might not work. So actually we decided the T-Roc actually is a lovely car. So I'll get out.
Yeah,
fuck off.
Who are you?
You're chatting absolute fucking shit.
Yeah, that's like 70% of the market, man.
Horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
horrible.
That's why you see so many cars that you and I dislike around because they're so popular. Because 70% of the domestic market are people that have no real interest in cars.
That's fine. You don't need to have an interest in cars.
But when you don't have an interest in cars, you don't have an interest in design of cars. You don't have an interest in anything to do with cars. So you just go and buy what you think. It's not even like I'm really generalising it, but they're not even looking at the wider picture of what else is out there in the market. They're just going, I really, VWs. I've heard they're really reliable. Let's go down the VW showroom. So they're only looking at VWs.
Yeah.
And the VW salesman has done a really good fucking job of shifting the T-Roc that they haven't been able to ship.
Yeah.
It's a piece of shit to Trevor and Sheila.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Derek. Yeah. It's the ultimate Derek mobile.
It is.
You've got the Qashqai, then above the Qashqai you've got the T-Roc convertible.
The T-Roc sits at the top of the list.
The Derek hierarchy.
The Derek scale. The universal Derek scale of shitness. We should get a Derek board and whip it out every now and then. And then we've got cars that we think are for Derek's, just slap it on.
Maybe on Rate or Slate, instead of giving us 8 out of 10, let's do it, they should also be, where do they figure on the Derek scale?
Yeah.
T-Roc convertible, 10 Dereks out of 10.
10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, fucking idiots. The Derek scale, I love that.
Fucking Dereks. So that was it for Rant Alley, really. I've seen a few around. There's actually, I think I've told you before, so you've probably seen it, the house on the corner where you go into my close.
Oh, with fake grass.
With fake grass has a convertible Evoque. And every time I come home, and I've never seen it with the roof off.
No.
Never seen him driving it with the roof off.
So him?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you got fake grass, you might as well have a fake convertible sports car.
True.
But yeah, thanks for bringing that to the table, because now I'm going to see them everywhere. Thanks, Ben.
Well, the weather's out. The weather's out. The weather's always out. The weather is nice.
Weather is weather.
And if you're listening and you've got a convertible in the garage or on the driveway, even if it's your own car, just get the fucking roof down.
Just get the roof off.
Get the that's why you bought it. Just think back to the day that you decided to purchase that vehicle and you thought, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a convertible because it'd be nice to have the roof down. You're right. It is nice to have the roof down. So get the fucking roof down.
Yeah, correct. Well done.
Yeah.
Hope you hear that, Derek.
Fucking Derek.
Cool. So that's Rant Alley. So let's exit Rant Alley and let's wrap up. I
think so. Yeah. It was a nice little chilled sesh.
Yeah, it's always.
It was a long one last week.
Yeah, we had a long one. We had Ross on the podcast. If you missed that, go back and have a look at that. Ross from Slip and Grip Automotive. He's a guy that runs track days in the local area and rally in Wales and all sorts of other stuff. He sells and buys cars. He also works for a local auction house. He does loads of cool automotive stuff. And he's also a really good dude.
Yeah, we had a nice catch up with him. So go listen to that if you haven't already. He will be on the podcast again soon.
Yeah. And we won't be sat in my fucking house.
For the first time ever, we're taking the podcast on the road. Not on the road, but we're going to be recording somewhere that's not Johnny's kitchen/diner.
Yeah.
Which will be exciting.
Absolutely. We're going on tour.
And also, I think that the Ross podcast sort of was a bit of proof of concept as to whether or not we could have a guest on.
Yeah.
And it worked, and it did work, I think. We're going to have some more guests on soon.
It's our highest grossing in terms of views podcast.
Is it really? Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, cheers, Ross. Probably shared it around his socials and stuff.
Yeah, so great. we'll get I want to get Jake on the podcast soon. We'll have a bit of a JDM drift.
2JZE, baby!
So we'll get Jake on. I want to get Matt on, but he's not that keen on being on the podcast, but it's okay. We'll peer pressure him into doing it. Yeah. We'll get Sammy P on at some point. We need to get Pedley on. When Pedley's down in sort of September, October time.
Because we can talk about the NC500.
Yeah, we should do an NC500 episode with Pedley.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. There's loads of people that we can have on.
Yeah. I'm having you on.
Weird.
My bed. Not really. Right,
Maybe.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all the usual
Yeah,
stuff.
go check out the Streets of Verno. Go check out Ben and John Do Cars on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And give us a rating, give us a review, interact with us, give us a comment, whatever else. Send us your rating slate at bjducars@gmail.com or comment on YouTube or fucking whatever. Just interact.
Yeah, we love it.
It's summertime.
It's summertime. On wine. Yeah, Will Smith, yeah?
I think
Will
so,
Smith,
yeah.
Cool, see you on the next one.
Right, let's do it. Hey! I got a sweaty bum now.
Sweaty, now we need a shower.